Good evening, everyone. I'm audible to everyone. खाना खाने के बाद यस थोड़ा कम हो गया. Okay. Think of a world where you cannot achieve your dreams, not because of your limited abilities or talents, because society is not ready for you. Think of a world where you want to rise high, but your physical, mental, and emotional well-being is weak. Have you ever faced those situations of limitations, not by your abilities, but by the expectation of others? Today, my story will tell the answer. It starts with very corner of India, but I had gone through all this situation. I had experienced all these scenarios. People saw a wheelchair. They saw my weakness. They saw my helplessness. They saw my disability. But they overlooked my strong roots and wings of willpower, my resilience. So that's the story of all about today. And end of this story, it will help you to build your own wings so that you can fly like Sai. Root starts with the seed. The seed of the story lies in a place called Siliguri. You might have heard about the word Siliguri, the name, very beautiful place, full of scenic beauty, and if you want to go Darjeeling, you cannot avoid Siliguri. So I have been born there with the values of tradition, culture, diverse background, diverse people are there in Siliguri. My parents brought up there, their education, job, everything was there. So I think every great story starts from the root, and root matters. So it's all started from Siliguri, and now people call my name globally. But I should be thankful for my birthplace. And you see the picture, my mom and me. Cute Sai. I do not know how I'm cute now, but this picture definitely shows cute Sai, and you cannot see any other difference in the picture for sure. It's a very cute, nice picture. My mom is showering me the bath time. But the resilience, the adversity, everything has a start. So while planting the roots of our life, we face everything. And that was the time 3.5 months old Sai, imagine a 3.5 months old Sai, had a fracture in right hand. I was crying, and my parents took me to doctor, and doctor said, हो सकता है कुछ वजह से मिसअप हो गया होगा, let's treat Sai, and I was being treated. But it was not an easy start. I had frequent fractures. And then my parents took me to Kolkata, the nearest metro city. Then big surgeon and orthopedic specialists were there. They saw my symptom. They heard my story of fractures and all. They clinically diagnosed that Sai is having a rare brittle bone disease. It cannot be cured. See, because we are not all the doctors medically, we have to trust medical system blindly. So they told my parents, Sai cannot lead a normal life. You have to be very cautious with Sai. His bones are brittle. He can have anytime, anywhere fractures. So the fear of fractures and this programming all started that time. And you know the society, I'm talking about year 1991, 92, nobody knew anything about brittle bone. Society said, no, nahi hoga. But my parents said, yes, hoga. We can take care of Sai the way he needs. Let's go and move Sai in his life. So I know that adversity is part of everyone's life, but sometimes it is not an enemy. It's not always the wrong side of the life. For me, it helped as a gardener to strengthen that root. The first step taken by my parents for my upbringing, that to make me do my passion. And you might not agree to, how can Sai sitting in a wheelchair was a dancer. So my first passion was dancing, because everybody's life need a passion to go on. So I was so much attracted towards dancing. I had went to Kathak classes. I went for stage performance also. But life was different because of that programming of brittle bone disease, and fracture continued. So doctor told my parents, Sai को कुछ और करने के लिए बोलिए. He is not born for dancing. And I was finding my purpose. Age of 5.5 years, Sai is finding a tool to express his emotion, his happiness. So when dance has stopped, I was finding some tool. And I could not have to search a lot. My mother was a singer, and I found that there is a software inside me, inbuilt one, which is music. Why not I try singing? And I found it's more easier, that I can sit in my boundary like this red circle, and I can stop myself from breaking more, and I can express my emotion through music. So I chose it seriously that I will become a singer. But always our jigsaw puzzle of life fall not in the right place. This passion of music, self-accepting with the fractures and carried away with whatever society wanted to say about me, there was only one wind which made my wings stronger. That was my parents and brother. They never made me feel alone, because for breaking the stereotypes, so I tried most ways of balancing my life with education, my music, my passion, all were okay. But one day, one fine morning, I found myself that because of the lot of fractures I had, I did not got a chance to make my bones work well. My muscles all gone fixed, all jammed together, and I made myself confined in a room, a small room with my cot and 4 walls. It was not expected, but storm never comes with an invitation. It comes and you have to be prepared for that. So it was a clueless time for me. I was traveling in a tunnel, but not seeing the light. I could not able to see any hope. It was clueless, 365 days I was been into the bed with the support of bed rest, and my parents were trying 24/7 to cheer me up, but anxiety, depression everywhere, because I had to leave my education, my music, my all passion was going one by way. But I felt rediscovering my new life. I felt that it is not Sai alone is doing this battle. The battle of disabilities is for people out there. So I cannot lose myself, and that's the time I self-accepted. And when you self-acceptance you practice, world comes and recognize you. That's the first lesson I got in 6 years of my life, 2009 to 2015. A dark time, people say, the articles in Google say, for me it was a self-reinvention. Because without inventing yourself, knowing your true self, you cannot make yourself happy. So I tried all the way to make me cheer up. I became graphic designer, because to make my black and white canvas colorful, that was only one option. And you know how I did it. I did with my left hand, one finger. It was so much suffering, so much pain. I cannot move my one finger from the cursor, from the screen. It took 15 minutes the first day I tried my designing. But I showed the world there is a will, there is a way. I completed my diploma and I started professionally designing in 1 year time. After that, when I reinvented myself and I found that abhi to picture baki hai, and then I came out, I was a new Sai, and I was in pursuit of happiness, because I found that people can be in anxiety, depression and everything, but happiness is something everyone is looking for. Everyone is running from day to night but they are not finding it right places. So if I can do something, that is the only thing I can do from wheelchair, make people happy. So I started researching on the happiness, inclusion and disability, and within 2-3 years I became India's first disabled happiness coach and made people happy through my organization Happiness Unlimited. Not the happiness which people share in Facebook and Instagram, the happiness from the heart, the selfless. And when that tree grow up, the roots also go down, makes you more strong. And I always believed you cannot do anything alone. And that's how I believe my journey also made me encounter a lot of people who are also striving for the same reason. And when I go out, I found that a new world for me, because I never experienced a life in wheelchair. People call me with so much pride, wheelchair warrior of India, but I never imagined I have to be confined in this. Nobody ever designed a life in wheelchair. So it was a new life for me, and I found a surprising fact that India is not ready for you. How can you say me disabled? I think I am disabled because society is not accessible, right? So it made me more down to, and it's an arch for my inside that I will lift this reason, the cause of making everywhere equally accessible for people like us. So I went outside and I started doing my own work, because we cannot expect others to do our work, and we see and observe change starts from us. So I started becoming accessible advocate, going around places, making ramp and making most of the places wherever I visited wheelchair friendly. And that's how I felt, when you rise high, you lift others along with you. Then only people will see you as an inspiration, as a motivation, they will follow the same. So be a change maker yourself if you are expecting a change in the society. And while working for people like us, the happiness I got is miraculous. The smile, I visit with my parents lot of rehabilitation center, and when I talk to them, I learned a new definition of life, that lot of parents are abandoning them being disabled. How they can do that? Because it's not inclusion and diversity, it's our basic humanity to abandoning a person with this condition. So I go and talk to them, I meet them, and I learn a lot of lessons, and that made me always grounded to my roots. So I'm very much thankful that I got a purpose of representing India in United Nations, and among these 30 disabled leadership after Helen Keller, Stephen Hawking, I also come in the list. After, getting the negative remarks in my childhood, when people used to talk about my health, the judgmental way they used to see, wheelchair में है, पीछे बैठा हो, अच्छा ये कुछ नहीं कर सकता. That time I did not have an answer, because to give an answer, first you need to experience. But do not take me wrong that you have to have disability. But I always say disability and inclusivity is not an afterthought. Be prepared yourself to find this in these scenarios. So after all this suffering and all this journey of 90% disability, 80% hearing impairment and everything, when I got the news that I got a national award from the president, the call came, I had tears in my eyes. And my parents too. Because for them, taking care of Sai with disability is not something, a responsibility. They did it selflessly. They did it without any expectation. And for me, representing whole India into that prestigious state of President of India in Vigyan Bhavan was a bigger responsibility. Now you are a voice of millions of people. People look at you and do the things. So with that responsibility, my wings and my roots became more stronger. And when I started rising high, I found sky has no limit, because we are not only special, we are limited edition. As I reflect my journey from Siliguri, then I was in Puttaparthi in Andhra Pradesh, and now I am in Bangalore. I love this journey because the journey was so diverse and journey was full of lesson. And it made me understand that wings and roots are not opposite, they are the partners. Because roots give you strength, your identity, your nature of grounding, your humbling towards yourself. And other side, wings give you the hope, freedom, and an extraordinary limitation to think out of the box. So it all went along with me, and I still remember in 2016 I came into a stage like that, full of 500,000 people. I was a little nervous that how people will see me in wheelchair, they might talk about my disability, they might talk about bechara kya ho gaya, with lot of sympathy and all. But with the thousands of sessions and mentoring and coaching people all over the world, now I realize that Sai's story is not about the disability. Because in 2025, after doing research about my disease and all, when I found that I'm not having that brittle bone disease, it was a wrong conception. I did genetic mutation now. Few days back, I got the result that I do not have any disease. I am 100% able, and that's the truth. This 34 years of my life was a programming of brittle bone, fear of fractures, fear of facing society with a lens of judgment, with a bias, that a disabled person cannot do anything. But now I feel that in this stage, when you are talking about inclusion, diversity, talking about humanity, love and compassion, disability is not your identity, because your roots are grounded, your wings of willpower is strong. And think of a world very soon approaching for us where you see this picture and you think of a world where roots are being nurtured, wings are being celebrated, everyone is equal, and we are driving towards a colorful, inclusive, accessible, diverse and beautiful world. We all can make it together. I need your support and love, because after these adversities and disabilities, if Sai can do, we all can together do. Thank you.